Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome back to another episode of the health series, and I'm here with Stacey, who has been with us now for a very long time. You're basically part of the furniture.
Yeah, 100%.
Just part of the furniture.
Yeah.
But the reason we're talking to Stacey is because she has got a wee one called Koa, who's 2 years old now. No, he's not quite
Nearly
that old,
two, yeah. Just 2 weeks off too.
Yeah, nearly there. Oh, his birthday's close to mine now.
Yeah,
When
the
is it?
28th.
Oh yeah, very close. Cool. So basically, the reason we're talking to Stacey about Koa is because I obviously have never been through a pregnancy.
Well, I would be a bit worried if you had been.
I also don't have any kids that I know of, which is great. You're great to talk to about this because you have been through obviously lots of change with your body, but you've also made a lot of progress with your whole lifestyle, health, and it's such a difficult thing when females go for pregnancy to get back into the stride of things, but you've done really, really well. So we're going to talk about it with you. So the first thing we're going to talk about, we're going to go in different stages and post-pregnancy.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about your routine to start with. So how difficult was it from giving birth and then going straight back into routine?
I mean, my routine before getting pregnant wasn't the best, so I feel like that's made it even harder. Because before I fell pregnant, wasn't at the gym, hadn't been at the gym for years prior, hadn't eaten well. My diet was horrendous. So generally, even before I fell pregnant, felt rubbish. So definitely struggled. I would say if I hadn't seen you on that night out, things maybe would be different. I'm really glad that I did, but
See, the amount of people that like come to me on nights out and like, oh, I need to get back in shape or I need to do this, and they like grab me and I'm like, I'm trying to enjoy a night where it makes you.
Well, absolutely, but I think it was in my head, and I think if I hadn't have said it, I think time maybe would have went on, and the longer I'd left it, I would have been like, and it would have been more daunting to get back in. So I'm really glad that it was like that, and we did just kind of go from there, and I thought, no, let's just do it.
So how long was it between you starting again to obviously Cole being born? What was the time difference between?
I think 4.5 months.
4.5 months.
Yeah.
And what was the hardest part of getting back into things after Cole?
The tiredness, for sure. And just like finding a new routine, your whole life is flipped upside down having a baby, in a good way, but your whole world changes. So trying to get into any form of routine is really quite difficult. But I feel like that's a good, fresh way of starting because I had this whole, it's like a whole new life starting. Cool. So a good way, it's a good time to add.
It's not like it's not like you were trying to find your old routine. You're just trying to create a new one.
Absolutely, like my whole life had totally changed, and I think my perspective had totally changed with just becoming a mum.
Yeah, it's quite a good way to do it because it's quite demotivating sometimes for people to lose a routine and then not be able to get back.
Well, that's it. You get stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
So looking back, it is the most difficult part is starting.
What was his sleeping pattern like?
Oh, I would say for the first. So see, when I first started, maybe when he was quite fresh. Some days would be okay, he'd maybe be up twice in a night, but some days we'd be up like 5 or 6 times. But I mean, I would still be in the gym at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I think because I was on maternity leave, and then being able to take him here with me, he was here every time. So it got me out the house. I really struggle if I wasn't at work and not being in a routine. I can't be stuck in 4 walls. So at least if that was the one thing that got out the house to do that day was at the gym, so be it. He was with me at that time, so it didn't really. Yeah.
So you were going to mention work there. So you went back to work pretty quick, in a way. Like a year?
Just over a year.
Just over a year. Has that been helpful, or has it not been helpful?
No, it's not been.
We wouldn't send this to Carol around for, don't worry.
Yeah, that's not been. I would say that's where a new struggle has started. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So do you feel as though because you had more time, just the two of you, you could kind of like create that new routine?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because it's interesting because like some people like the routine of like the 9 to 5
being back at work because they find it more motivating. And see, before I had Koa, I would say I probably was like that too.
You work better.
Definitely, I would say if I was on holiday from work for a couple of weeks, my gym routine wouldn't be as good. Whereas if I was at work the whole week, I'm not sure. I think maybe because he's obviously in nursery and then I'm learning to drive. Like there's a lot going on. So life's just maybe a bit busier than before. I'm not sure.
For sure, yeah, definitely.
You have more time in maternity leave, but
you do, for sure. So I know a lot of mums get like what they call like mum guilt.
All the time.
Yeah. So what would you describe as like mum guilt?
Anything you do, you get mum guilt.
Okay.
Again, and that is something that I still struggle with.
Yeah.
Koa would be with me all the time at the gym, and even if James was at home sometimes, I'll still just take him. even though there's no harm in them being left for that hour, but yeah, that's, mums just feel that guilt, even taking that hour to themselves. But what I always say to people is, I would prefer be selfish. See, now that I'm in the routine of doing it, that makes me a better mum. If I don't take that time for myself, if I have an empty cup, I can't pour into his cup. So you have to keep the loop going.
Cool. I'm glad you said that, because we're going to touch on like how your way of thinking has changed with your own health, which is
it's so different.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Like black and white.
It's amazing. It's cool, and then like loads of mums are the same.
Yeah.
I probably don't appreciate it enough because obviously I see it all the time.
It changes your brain chemistry. Like it's not. I know that sounds so cliche, but 100% your brain is
You think so much differently.
Yeah.
Which is, it's amazing.
Thought process is definitely different.
We'll talk about that, but I want to talk about like your body and how that changed as well, because you've lost a lot of weight.
I've lost a lot of weight because I had a lot of weight I feel to lose compared to any other kind of phase in my life. I had to put on nearly 5 stone, not with just being pregnant. I would say maybe like a couple of years prior to that as well, just with being in a relationship, kind of being comfortable. But I mean, a lot of that weight did go on in pregnancy.
Of course.
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5 dress sizes up. Yeah, really quite. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And again, it's common. Obviously, common to put on weight when you are pregnant. Totally, but then
there's a fine line.
Yeah, there's just taking the piss. And
I did take the piss.
Yeah, okay,
completely and utterly took the piss.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, so I feel like I should use the excuse of eating for 2 quite literally for the 9 months. And again, as I'm saying, my eating before was not great. My healthy relationship with food just was not there.
Yeah.
It was rubbish. And then again, when you're eating rubbish, you feel rubbish. So that was just a continuous cycle until I had him. And then I thought, no, something needs to change. I'm not being a parent and feeling rubbish all the time.
Definitely.
If I'm going to feel, you want to be the best that you can possibly feel. So, yeah.
It makes a big difference. Okay, so mental health wise, I know it's again something that a lot of females struggle with after they give birth. It's obviously, so many things change.
Yeah.
Body,
hormones,
lifestyle. And obviously, your mental health was, you don't mind me saying this, obviously,
no, not at all.
I've known you for a long time.
No.
Your mental health obviously hasn't been fantastic all the time.
Yeah, very up and down.
Yeah, for sure. So how was your mental health after COA, just after COA, and then how's it now?
I feel, after having COA, definitely having a baby opens a door of things. And as you say, hormones, crash, there's a lot going on. I feel like I definitely struggled with things that I think things that have been pushed away in the past, just kind of open up.
Yeah.
But the biggest one, postpartum anxiety. Like, that was horrendous. So, as I say, if I wasn't out of the house, that's like a ticking time bomb in my head, just almost waiting for something to go wrong. But the minuscule things, just really, really minor things that probably are really normal to worry about, but also that I think there's a fine line again. And I think the amount that it was in my head probably isn't quite normal.
Is there any like major examples you can think of, or not even major, but like, is there anything that you felt as though at the time was like this massive like feeling of anxiety for you with postpartum?
Oh, just for everything, like feeling that something was going to go wrong. I feel like
with COA?
Yeah. Just, I've had loss in the past, so obviously I struggled to get pregnant before I had COA. So there was a lot, obviously, just, from that. And I think just general trauma from my life, that has kind of been stored away. But it was genuinely things like him sleeping. I'd be up checking on him 10 times as he breathed, which again is probably normal for a new parent. But when it's that obsessive, I think there's definitely a line. So the gym, the one thing that helped me, getting out and getting exercise, the endorphins it was like a brand new person. Yeah.
Sure. It makes such a difference. And like, so obviously all the things people go through when they've had a wee one, it doesn't just affect how they feel about the wee one or what goes on in the wee one, it affects then their choices.
Oh, everything. Yeah. And I feel like I became like a whole negative persona was kind of built up. Not about, I don't think people would perceive me as that, but like internally, that's how I felt. Yeah. And just, I think you need a release. Never been medicated, I've never needed any medication or anything like that, but definitely noticed that I was struggling more. I would say without the gym. Don't know. I think that's my way of coping mechanism.
Yeah, for sure. It's really underrated.
Oh, it's the best thing you can do for your mental health. Yeah. People don't understand that. I wish you could show people though. Like I wish you could say to them, I don't know, show them into the future and be like, this is how you would feel. Yeah. And a lot of people would be surprised.
Yeah, it's just taking people like you who have been through it, who've done something like so high of giving birth.
Yeah.
Like all the emotions that come with it, and then the low of obviously
being where you go. Yeah.
The things you go through with your hormones, your body, and like your lifestyle and your routine, to try and bring that back up again.
Give something back to yourself. I just felt like, I've created this whole life, and that kind of in itself, even though I felt really negative at the time, it's the first time I kind of actually felt differently positive about my body. You know, like before I didn't eat well, didn't look after myself, but because almost like, not that you don't feel worthy, but maybe in a way, the motivation's not there. When I had Koa, it's like, right, this is the chance. I need to better myself. I want to be the best that I can, the healthiest that I can.
Yeah.
Well, in 60 years, I want to be running around if I'm still here with my grandkids. Or do you know what I mean?
100%.
I want to see him live a long and healthy life. So that's what it comes down to.
It does make such a big difference, and again, it's just like so underrated. People only think about like the short term and where they're like stuck in it.
100%. I want to be able to carry my shopping bags when I'm 70, like up from Lidl's, the way I do now.
Yeah.
I want to have,
for
muscle mass is so good for your long-term health. So
100%, especially as a mum. For sure.
I just wish more people could see into.
Yeah. So this links in quite well, because obviously, as you said, you've lost a lot of weight. You've pretty much lost like all your 5 stone anyway, which is amazing. Not even just like from a like vain body.
No, not at all.
Way,
just
like,
in generally how I feel. Yeah, for
amazing.
sure.
But I work with obviously a lot of mums who do the shift that you do, where they want to lose weight, we lose weight, and then there's this like greater purpose that comes out of it, where they're like, oh shit, actually I want to feel really healthy because I've got a wee one at home that demands my time, energy.
Absolutely. This is how I want to feel forever.
Yeah. So like you're going through that, and you're there. You're feeling that now.
Yeah.
How important now is that for you when it comes to like your own motivation to keep bettering yourself?
Again, just what I'm saying, like I think the biggest thing that scares me is going back to the way I was previously. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if I lose my routine, we've had our struggles like the last couple of months, and I feel like everybody has that. People are up and down, but I'm still here, still pushing along.
So your partner James is a friend of mine.
Yep.
Obviously known him for a long time. He has MS.
Yep.
He is doing a lot better than he was.
He sure is.
When Cole was first born, though, he went through quite a difficult phase, which obviously James is my friend, but at the same point, I care about you and I know you, so I know the difficulties that brought for you. You were almost not a single mum as such, but like you did so much more than a normal mum with a partner would do. How was that for you, and what advice would you kind of give for anyone?
I mean, it's definitely harder. I feel the reason that I coped and could still get into the gym and things purely because of because of you letting me take him. There's no other gym that I know of that I could take him and do that. So I think if that wasn't the case, it would have been highly difficult. It's
such a challenging one to like try and almost like still protect your own time and do things yourself when your partner is at a phase where he's not able to support you as much.
Absolutely. And I think we definitely struggled because obviously not even just the fact of him having his struggles, but not working, not really getting out of the house. That has a massive effect. So things were just really quite difficult. And adding a new baby into that, obviously, again,
it was tough.
Wouldn't change it for the world, but it is can be very difficult. And not out of choice. He didn't do these things out of choice, but obviously I don't have MS. I have no idea what it's like to have that. So again,
it's quite nice as well because you realise it now, I think, a little bit. In fact, we were joking about it earlier, saying you've like influenced them.
He's at the gym now.
So like that again, a year and a half, 2 years ago, that's something he probably in his own mind thought he wouldn't be able to do.
He could barely walk 2 years ago. He could barely hold Koa when he was born. Like he just, he really struggled.
The fact you've not only like turned up to be healthier for Koa, but now you're being influenced to your partner.
James, absolutely. And it's so amazing because I think that's why his health now is where it is. Being stronger, and people really underestimate what lifting weights will do.
Yeah, definitely. Not even just like for yourself, for other people around you.
100%. He can run, he can, take Koa on his shoulders, he can do all the dad things that he wanted to do, which he didn't think he would be able to do, which is so amazing. And it's like a whole other, life,
100%. And you've allowed him to do that by being who you are and obviously just doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. But I will say, it is difficult. Obviously, you're saying about having the added responsibility, but I feel like communication. If you communicate with people, and I know I can be bad at this, but that is one of my red flags. But with me and James, I'm like, even when he wasn't working and things, still has his, like he was out golfing or still trying to go out golfing, you know, he still had things that he was doing. So we just had to work around each other.
Yeah.
And I think because obviously being on maternity leave back then, still had a bit more leeway. And because he wasn't working, again, that's a major positive. Most ladies that have a baby, their partner's at home with them for 2 weeks and then they're back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously it's shit, the circumstances that he wasn't working, but the fact of having him home with me the whole time, I did have a lot of help around, you know, bottles and being sterilised and getting the dishes and things like that. But
you had like help at times with simpler things, but then also like there was
the baby, 100%.
For sure. Cool. So what advice would you give to anyone that is, let's start off with, who is in a routine right now with maybe like fitness but is pregnant? So what advice would you give to them leading up to pregnancy?
Leading up to being pregnant?
Yeah. Or leading up to giving birth, sorry.
I would say do what you would do if you weren't pregnant. If I could go back and change, like, don't have your mindset of being, this is just a 9-month phase where I can take the absolute piss. Because, if you do that, fair enough, I did that, each their own. But the thing that you have to think about is when that 9 months are over and you give birth to this baby, how do you want to feel?
Yeah.
Or what is the change that you could make to yourself in that 9 months?
And the bounce back is going to be
the bounce back is so much different. And I always say to you, if I ever have a second baby, please don't ever let me leave the gym. No, but I mean that. If I'm like, being pregnant is not being disabled. You know what I mean? Being a pregnant, you're still more than capable. If you still feel, everybody's different, but if there's no reason not to, if you feel like you know, that you're fine to. So I would say,
just try and do as much as you can.
Obviously, with food and things, your appetite's obviously bigger. You shouldn't be watching calories and whatnot, but have your whole foods, have your treats now and again. Just get your walks in, get your exercise. Just don't sit on your arse for the whole 9 months and eat and be a lazy bitch like I did.
Fair. Resemblance.
That's the bottom line,
I
didn't make it any easier for myself, so I'll be completely honest.
Cool. And it makes your
I wouldn't have had all that hard work. I still would have had, you still have hard work to do at the end. Of course, you've had a baby, but I could have made things a lot easier for myself if I hadn't have done that. So
For sure. And then what advice would you give to someone, the main bit of advice you'd give someone between giving birth to then maybe like the 6-month stage?
If you have that thought in your brain, like even the littlest thought about starting, or if you don't feel happy, just fucking do it. Like just make that first step, because that is the hardest part. See, when, like, I actually felt sick messaging you. And you've been my PT before. It's not as if I don't know you. I've known you for literally years. And even still, for me, hold my hands up. It's not a nice feeling coming back. No, but is it worth it? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think as well because, again, like your perfect example, there's so many different emotions you go through.
Yeah.
Like one morning you feel one way, one night you feel
and the next, 100%. Even still now, like I'm nearly 2 years postpartum, and I feel like that's only just starting to kind of settle down. So I just do it. Just make that first step. Send that message. Do the form. Inquire. Do something.
Bug him on his night out.
Yeah, see him on a night out like I did. Because I'm so glad I did.
Good. Perfect. Anything else to say? Happy with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. Awesome. Cool. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope Stacey could give you some inspiration. And I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you've got any questions, if you want to know any more, just let us know, and we'll speak to you soon, and we'll see you soon.